Boom, Bitcoin breaks out to the highest high of the year, 22,000. Right as I was about to upload today's video, this started happening. We're breaking above that shorter term range here, seeing the highest highs of the year, this year so far. So this is cool. Bullish speculators are stepping back in. Things are starting to change a little bit. And real quick, before we get into the video, I just want to show you this. This is the downtrend line for the falling wedge. The breakout level is about 22,781. And then the next target above that would be the 200-week SMA at 24,643. I just wanted to put a little introductory clip to show you guys what's happening right now. Now let's get into the video. Today, Bitcoin seems like it's ready for another leg up. Currently trading at 21,400 as I'm making this video, and we have created a higher low in the short term. And demand is increasing, the price is moving up to the breakout zone once again, and there's a lot of important things taking place on the chart that we need to talk about. So go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and let's get started.
Genesis filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy last night came as a surprise to virtually no one. It's had withdrawals halted since November, which is...
Welcome back to the channel. Today is January 20th, and we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. There's a lot of cool stuff happening today. Bitcoin's inability to get a dump tells me that the sellers might be exhausted. I mean, it's been over a year now of just continuous dumping, continuous lower highs, continuous lower lows, and now we're finally starting to see a little bit of more promising price action, though we have not seen a higher high on the daily just yet. But if we do break out into a higher high, it's probably going to shift Bitcoin into a new paradigm for its trend. We're likely going to see things start to change. Now, first of all, in terms of downside targets, the 200-day SMA is really the key here. We just got to hold that. As long as we're holding the 200-day, generally the market is likely going to behave in a more bullish fashion. Dips will be bought, investor sentiment will be a little bit more positive, and an uptrend can occur as long as we're above the 200-day. So just want to mention that. If there is a dip, that's the area I would look for a bounce. That's the area I would look for some entries, more accumulation, etc., etc. So right now, Bitcoin is still in the overbought territory on the daily RSI. Though just a few days ago on this channel, we were saying that we would probably consolidate for a few days to let the RSI cool off. And that has happened. We've consolidated, RSI has cooled off, and I think that Bitcoin does have a shot at actually continuing up, even in the overbought zone. If you look back in 2020, we've seen this before. Bitcoin enters overbought territory on the daily towards the end of the year, and we just remain in overbought territory as the price goes to the moon. So this is possible. A lot of people think that if we're in the overbought zone, the price must go down. Doesn't have to, right? The market can do what it wants. So what is my main area of interest right now in terms of upside targets? It is the 200-week SMA. We talked about that in the last video, so I'm not going to go over it too much. I want to talk about some new stuff. But yes, the 200-week SMA is going to be my area of interest, which is currently around 24,640, and that could be the initiation of the potential right shoulder of our falling wedge inverse head and shoulders pattern. The thing that's most interesting to me about the weekly chart is where the RSI is. Currently, the RSI is just above 50. What you'll notice is that in bull markets, when bullish trends occur, we flip above the 50 level and we start to use it as support. And then in bearish trends, Bitcoin flips below the 50 level and starts to use it as resistance. So the weekly chart, the weekly RSI is going to be a very telling indicator to show us where we really are in this trend, because it's possible that Bitcoin rejects this area and then it shows us that we're still in a more bearish trend, right? But if we break above the 50 level, for example, let's look at 2020, the beginning of the last bull run. Bitcoin breaks above the 50 level and it flips it as new support, and then the major bullish trends occur. So that's what we kind of need to see here, is a move above 50, hold it as support, and then continue this run. And the initial breakout target that I have for this run is going to be the 200-week. And I'm very curious to see what happens there, because it's likely that the price would consolidate around that zone. But if we do end up just running up to the 200-week and breaking above it, closing above it, well, that means that things are actually far more bullish than most of us probably expected. In 2019, when Bitcoin broke out of the bear market, we broke straight above the 50 level on the weekly RSI and just ran to the overbought zone. So these things are possible, right? There's no guarantee that the price has to stop anywhere. And in that last cycle in 2019, Bitcoin ran up to the 618 fib extension level. So that was actually the target. And I don't think anybody expected that to happen back then. And right now for Bitcoin, like we talked about in the last video, the falling wedge, and this is going to sound totally absurd to most people right now because everyone has lost hope. But if the price runs to the 200 week and we don't reject it and we break through and close a weekly above it, we could actually see Bitcoin also hit the 618 fib, which is the breakout target of the falling wedge. That setup is valid in my opinion. It always seems crazy until it happens, right? Just like 2018 to 2019. A lot of the people that are going to make comments right now on this video, they are the same people in 2018 that did not believe Bitcoin was going to hit 14K. There's always skeptics. There's always people that just think Bitcoin can never go up, or it's never going to be bullish again, or it's only going to be bullish if they buy Bitcoin. People just want to defend their positions. You know, many of them may not have accumulated enough, so they don't want it to happen. So be careful of who you listen to on social media. A lot of people are just speaking out of insecurity based on their own position and what they want, right? So just look at the charts and just let the charts tell you. Now, speaking of letting the charts tell you, I want to make a disclaimer here, and that is that Bitcoin has still not broken the falling wedge. We are still not above it, right? And that should be a huge note, a huge disclaimer, is that at the time of making this video, we are still below the downtrend line. So Bitcoin needs to get above about 23,000 or so and close a weekly above that for things to really get bullish here. So we're still kind of far away, but as we know, things can change pretty quickly in this market. So before we get too ahead of ourselves, just remember that there's no breakout yet. But I would say that the way that I'm reading this is that if we do break above 21,500 and start closing dailies, that's going to initiate probably enough bullish action to break above the falling wedge downtrend. And then we can run to the 200-week area of interest and see if we reject it or not. So that's the situation that I see unfolding. And also there's an exclusive offer only for the subscribers of this channel, and that is BitGet. You can get a free $20 if you sign up and deposit $200. You get $20 free. Take that offer, only available to you guys on this channel for a limited time. But that's it for me today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to smash the like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.